Hi, I'm Natalie Kenny Marquez. I'm the owner of Grow Marketing and Communications. I'm based out of Champaign, Illinois. I have the pleasure of working with small businesses, startups, small farms and farmers markets in central Illinois and across the state of Illinois. When you think about the world's best known brands, I'm sure that a few brand logos specifically come to mind. The font, the color, even the sounds and the words that are associated with all of these brands. None of this is by chance. A lot of time, psychology, survey, a lot of work has gone into creating the best performing brand to help associate their products with that company. Before we begin in the design phase of your brand, let's take a step back and focus on some key elements that will really set you up for success. These elements include your mission statement, tagline if you have one, key benefits of your business or products, as well as talking points that you can use in your marketing efforts and face-to-face situations with your customers. I'd like for you to hit pause on this video and take a few minutes to complete the branding self-audit form. Take about 5 or 10 minutes to work on this, and if you don't finish, no worries, come back to it later. We'll continue to build upon these concepts throughout this module, but I ask that you dive into these important components of your brand now so that you set yourself up for success as we move forward from here. Once you submit your branding self-audit form, I'll go through it and reply back to you with my feedback and recommendations. Really, my goal is for you to use this feedback to help guide you during this module in developing your brand and working towards a solid marketing strategy. Now that you've started thinking about the components of your brand, let's focus on the visuals. I suggest that as you build out your logo, you consider having a vertical logo, a stacked logo, and an icon version. So let's look at the Land Connections logo as an example. They have a horizontal version, a stacked version, and a standalone icon. This way, they have a consistent version of their logo that they can use in all different applications. So think about your logo and how you can expand upon it to make a horizontal, stacked, and icon version of the logo. Now let's move on to color. I typically give my clients about 4 to 6 colors to work with in their color palette for their brand. This way they have some primary colors to use as well as supporting supplementary colors to emphasize words, callouts, buttons, and other icons in their marketing efforts. Let's look at the Land Connections color palette. You see on the screen they have 6 colors that they can work with and use throughout their marketing efforts. They tie back into their logo and are consistently used in all of their efforts, whether it be setting up a display at a table at an event, on their website, and across their social media platforms. Font is another important component of your branding. Consider having a primary font and a supporting font. A primary font can be what you use in a headline, whereas a supporting font can be the subheadline or body text. In the example on the screen, we see that the Land Connection has a headline, a subhead, and a body font that they use, and they stick with through all their marketing efforts. This helps with consistency in branding, and their customers really do recognize consistency. It not only looks professional, but it makes you stand out because it's cohesive. Now, to tie it all together, I recommend creating a set of brand guidelines. These guidelines are a great resource for you to be able to show your color palette, your fonts, and key content that really ties everything together for your brand. Let's take a look at an example. In this example, I share a set of brand guidelines for Buy Fresh, Buy Local, Illinois. It covers all of the important concepts that make up the visual and verbal brand of the coalition, from the logos to the font pairings to the imagery and even the written content. I encourage you to come up with your own set of brand guidelines that you can use to help you build consistency in your branding, which will really pay off as you launch your food business. Lastly, after you've pulled together your brand concepts and as you set out to build upon your brand in different marketing efforts, take a moment to complete this brand audit. Use the checklist shared with you as a comprehensive dive into anything and everything that you can brand in your business. Go through it point by point to make sure that you are consistently executing your brand guidelines and have a cohesive presence across all of your outreach efforts.